at the end of the event in New Hampshire, and this is the gubernatorial candidate Ovide Lamontagne. Did I pronounce that right?
Very well.
That's very unusual for me. Now, you gave
an unusual name.
Well, you gave a very spirited speech today that was very well received. What did you think of the crowd? What did you think of the event?
Well, you know, first of all, considering that we just finished the New Hampshire presidential primary just a few days ago, and the Patriots are playing, which I'm anxious to go watch, we had a very full room, a lot of positive energy, and I felt very affirmed tonight. And it's that kind of grassroots energy that you need to draw from and build on. And I'm very encouraged this far out from the primary that we're going to be able to do very well.
Well, the primary is one thing, but the fact that you could draw this crowd with the Patriot game kicking off very shortly, and a lot of them staying to talk to you,
yes,
that really says something about your candidacy.
Well, it says something about the commitment that people in New Hampshire have, and these particular folks here, to making sure we put New Hampshire on the right track, to renew our New Hampshire advantage, to make us the best state in the region, to do business, to expand business, to raise a family, and to live. We are the live free or die state for a reason, and we need to rediscover that reason.
Now, you ran, as you mentioned during your speech, a statewide campaign, just missed getting the nomination for senator. From that campaign, from the experience you got, is that going to make a huge difference, do you think, in this race, both in the primary level and in the general election, should you win the primary?
You know, it's a very good question. My wife said to me after we came so close in the primary race, if I didn't do a recount, that would be the end of it. People wouldn't want to continue to fight for me and work for me. But I felt it was very important to get behind our nominee, Kelly Ayotte, and not try to do a recount. Because our primary and general election cycle is very short, from September to November. So I think I did the right thing then, but I thought perhaps that would put me in a very bad position with supporters. It just has had the opposite effects. I've been very encouraged by the support I've had since that primary, and also the relationships I've been able to build on since then. And I feel very good about where we are right now in January of 2012 and the prospects for winning in September and then in November.
Now, this is going to be a slightly loaded question as a Massachusetts resident.
Really?
We drove up from Massachusetts.
Thank you for coming.
And I had this, and it's a phenomenon I've noticed as I've covered events in New Hampshire. I mean, you don't have a sales tax, you don't have an income tax, but
right,
somehow the roads were paved, the roads were plowed. I didn't see dead bodies in the streets or anything. Can you give a piece of advice to my elected representatives in Massachusetts and to my Massachusetts readers as to how New Hampshire manages to do all of these things? You know, paved streets, you have schools that do not have, people aren't writing on cue form. How do you do it without all of these taxes?
Well, you know, the way we do it is largely by leaving decisions about education and local issues at the local level, rather than trying to take away power and authority from the municipalities of our state. Secondly, we do have fees that are sort of user fee concepts or based, and that generates state monies, and then of course you work with the federal government to the extent you have to leverage the dollars. So it's efficient management because we keep our central government limited and small. And it's ironic to say that because we have the largest legislative body in the country other than the Congress itself, with 424 House reps and state senators. The House reps number 400, one for every 3,200 people, and that keeps them close to their constituents, so that when they go to Concord, they're not there thinking they're rulers or an entitlement class. They go there as the representatives of the very small group of people they represent, and that's important. That's an important dynamic for state government, local communities, and the people.
And we should mention that your state reps make, what, $100 a year or something?
$100.
As opposed to the $50 grand we make in Massachusetts.
Is it 50 grand?
It's up there. Maybe they'll stop moving south.
I was going to say, maybe so. No, we pride ourselves in civic engagement, civic involvement as a volunteer-driven state. You know, it's funny, New Hampshire, I think per capita, we're probably the stingiest in terms of contributing to charities, but we're number one in terms of donating time and talent to supporting civic and charitable works as well as government service at the local level. So civic engagement is very high and very important in New Hampshire. And that's an ethic that's been lost in a lot of states around the country, one that we need to reclaim as citizens if we want to save this country.
Ovide Lamontagne, thank you very much for your time. I know that your wife is anxious to leave. I'm sure you're anxious to see the Patriots game, so I'll let you go.
Fortunately, modern television with DVRs will give me a chance. I won't turn on the radio. I'll just pick it up from the beginning. Thanks.
All right, thank you again.